Hi there. I thought I'd take a little bit of time to just share a little trick that I found lately, which has really helped me to get much better performance out of a pair of winter cycling shoes. These are a pair of specialised defrosters which I picked up on eBay, which is where I get a lot of my kit. I picked up second hand for not too much money. I've been using overshoes and cycling shoes through the winter for probably about the last 10 years, and they're great, they're fine. But I have noticed even with the neoprene overshoes, when it gets really wet, your feet just get wet. So I thought I'd give these a try, and I've been sort of really impressed with them. They're nice and warm, they're comfortable, and the actual body of the shoe is pretty much waterproof. But there is one great big downfall which I'd seen a few people mention in reviews and which I was aware of when I bought them, and that is that no matter what you do, no matter how tight you get the cuff, you've always got a gap between your leg and the shoe. And when you ride in heavy rain, within about half an hour, no matter what you do, water ends up getting into the shoe and it's right down to the toe, and you end up riding in sort of with soggy socks, which isn't really an awful lot of fun, particularly in the cold. But I had to think about it, and I came up with an idea that when I race in the summer, I use Veloto's overshoes. So they're a little bit like they're almost like a swimming cap that you put over your shoes to make them more aerodynamic. And the problem is, they're fine for a while, but they tend to go through at the sole because they are pretty much the same thing as swimming caps. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, I don't throw them away, and I've kept hold of them. So I came up with the idea of basically cutting the ankle off like this, so you end up with sort of a rubber hose section, which I then put over my ankle and then put the boots on, so that these form sort of a rubber closure. Now, because these are pretty tight on the skin, and obviously they're made of sort of a latex rubber, they're waterproof and they're tight, so you don't get a gap that the water can actually go down. And I've found that it works really, really well. A lot of my rides, particularly this time of year, might be anywhere between sort of 45 minutes up to sort of an hour and a half. At weekends I might do 3 hours. But I've tried this in constant heavy rain, and whereas before it was half an hour, I had wet feet. I've done up to an hour and my feet have stayed dry, and that's in persistent heavy rain with spray coming up off the road. And it does seem to have worked really well. On longer rides, water has begun to get in, but this has certainly helped to keep the water out for an awful lot longer. I suspect that overshoes and all winter boots probably suffer from the same issue. A lot of them have that neoprene cuff around the top, but in really heavy rain, water's going to get into that. But using this certainly seems to keep it out. So if you've got some old Veloto covers, it may well be worth giving it a try. Even on overshoes, I suspect it'd work just as well. Or if you know someone, you've got a friend who time trials and they chuck these out, get them off them, cut the tops off and give it a try, because it could well keep your feet dry. At this time of year when it's cold as well, once you get wet feet, for me anyway, it's just a miserable experience, not very pleasant at all. So possibly worth a go to keep those feet dry for a little bit longer. Cheers.